Welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Wednesday, November 13th, 2013. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. A bilateral agreement has been signed between SVG and Ecuador, which is expected to deepen the relationship between both countries. The Memorandum of Understanding was signed today and according to Minister of Foreign Affairs Camillo Gonsalves, the importance of this agreement is that it allows the two countries to communicate more on a range of issues.
To talk more, and what this agreement says is to formalize and institutionalize that basic concept, that the more we talk, the more we'll get to know each other, the greater commonalities we'll find, the greater solidarity we'll find, and more we'll be able to work in each other's best interests.
Gonsalves says the agreement institutionalizes how often the two countries meet and also on what level.
But really it's saying we are good friends, we have been friends for a long time, our friendship has deepened by virtue of our relationship in Alba and Petrocaribe, and now let's talk. Let us talk like the friends we are, let us do it regularly, let us not let distance or language or size come between us, because there's far more that binds us together than that separates us.
Meantime, Ambassador of the Republic of Ecuador, Galoyepez Holquin, says he is happy to be signing the agreement as it sets the pathway for a long-lasting relationship between the two countries.
You just said that this cooperation it is necessary for both countries to get closer. Ecuador government thinks that the relationship with the Caribbean countries it is necessary for now and for the future. When I met Prime Minister Gonsalves, he said that the relation with Ecuador was not good before President Correa assumed. But he said, but now it is totally different. We have a good relation, and that's because there are new ideas, new mechanisms in the region. We think that ZILAC and ALBA are two examples of this new way of international relations in the region.
A call has been made by this country's Prime Minister for the suspension of the Dominican Republic from the Caribbean Forum, CARIFORUM. This as a fallout continues from the Constitutional Court ruling that could render stateless thousands of people of Haitian descent living in the Dominican Republic. In a letter dated November 11th to President of the Spanish-speaking country, Danilo Medina, Prime Minister Gonsalves said he had also written to Venezuela's President, Nicolas Maduro, recommending that the Dominican Republic be suspended from the Caracas-led Petrocaribe initiative. Dr. Gonsalves wrote that if the situation for the citizens by birth of the Dominican Republic of Haitian descent is not favorably altered, he intends to raise the matter forcefully at the upcoming summit of Petrocaribe scheduled for Caracas on December 16, 2013. The Caribbean Community, CARICOM, as well as the Washington-based Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, the IACHR, have criticized the ruling made on September 23rd, with the IACHR saying that it retroactively modifies legislation that was in effect from 1929 to 2010, and thus would strip Dominican citizenship from tens of thousands of people born in the Dominican Republic. Talks are currently being held here in an effort to identify priority areas for funding under the GEF Small Grants Program for the next 3 years. Speaking at the opening of the one-day workshop in Kingston, Chair of the workshop, Glynn, told the participants that they are charged mainly with the responsibility of completing the strategy document that will guide the activities of the GEF SGP and its support to vulnerable people and communities in SVG up to 2015.
There has to be a change in our approach and our perspective in our interaction with the natural world as we go forward. The core developmental priorities of the region, poverty alleviation and sustainable improvements in the livelihoods of its peoples, demands no less. What is required from all stakeholders is a clear and focused agenda on sustainable development and sustainable livelihoods. Not simply discussions and declarations, which certainly have their place, but specific programs with tangible and measurable objectives for human development and poverty alleviation. GEF SGP's philosophy of thinking globally and acting locally goes to the heart of this issue. By providing financial and technical support to projects that conserve and restore the environment while enhancing people's well-being and livelihoods, SGP demonstrates that community action can maintain the fine balance between human needs and environmental imperatives.
And the local coordinator of the GEF Small Grants Program, Hayden Billingy, says they are making significant strides in SVG.
This GEF Small Grants Program in St. Vincent, we have seen the finalization of the work program. We are still to finalize our office space. The National Steering Committee has been finalized, as I said before, and have convened the first meeting. And today we are at the Country Program Strategy Workshop. And we are here to look at the priorities for SVG going forward.
The Ministry of Education has to remain prudent and diligent when assessing educational institutions interested in setting up shop here. That's according to Chief Education Officer Gilchrist, speaking at the inaugural registration of tertiary institution ceremony held on Monday. Gilchrist stressed the importance of ensuring that institutions submitting manuals and proposals for registration to operate here are bona fide and do not see SVG as a land ready to be plucked of its greatness.
Land ready to be taken advantage of. That's not what we want. It is as a result of this that the National Accreditation Board is pursuing its objectives vigorously and with dedication. It is as a result of this that the public awareness campaign was launched a few weeks ago. We want the public to be aware. We want the buyers to beware. As far as I know, mills should only churn out pepper sauce or cocoa.
The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Tuesday received a quantity of books and $75,000 from the Republic of Korea. In accepting the books on behalf of the National Library, Director of Libraries Michelle King thanked the Korean government and its people for the donation, adding that the books will be residing in the adult and reference collection.
Researchers and students who are interested in learning more about Asia would find the material very informative and exciting. As the primary purpose of the National Library is to provide individuals access to a wide and varied range of knowledge, ideas, and opinions. At this time, when the world is saturated with new technology and the media, books are still the best access to knowledge.
And Minister of Health Clayton Burgin says the contribution of $75,000 towards the purchasing of medical equipment for the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital is most welcome at this time.
The pediatric unit is currently being refurbished through a project designed to provide specialized and modern equipment and training for doctors and nurses in the neonatal intensive care unit. And this contribution is therefore expected to fit quite nicely into our current initiatives. Several other health infrastructure and related projects will also commence next year and will provide support to the critical services being provided by my ministry's 16 functional departments. In providing all of this, we share the limelight with our partners. It is usually said that the health of a nation is the wealth of that nation. And so this and future contribution to this country by the government and people of South Korea must be seen as a contribution towards the long-term wealth and development of our blessed land.
And Minister of Foreign Affairs Camillo Gonsalves says the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines appreciates the recent re-engagement of the Republic of Korea, not only with SVG, but also in the wider CARICOM region.
There have been a number of cooperation agreements signed, and Korea has clearly demonstrated its willingness to engage and its understanding of the development struggles of the region. As P.S. Williams pointed out, the development of Korea economically is a fairly recent phenomenon in the measurement of time, how we do these things. And Korea is one of the Asian tigers that has developed rapidly in recent decades. But the development is not so old that they do not remember many of the struggles that countries like St. Vincent and the Grenadines and other countries in CARICOM go through.
The improvement of students' literacy skills continues to be an area of focus for the Ministry of Education. The Ministry will be conducting a 3-day workshop for primary and secondary school teachers from tomorrow, Wednesday, November 13th. That should be today, to Friday the 15th. The workshop is geared towards the development of students' literacy skills, and the participants will be engaged in both theoretical and practical sessions on conducting the reading assessment and interpreting the data, planning intervention strategies, phonology, vocabulary, and comprehension strategies. A media release states that it is the Ministry's hope that this exposure would ultimately lead to a whole school effort in administering appropriate literacy instructions in all educational institutions throughout the country. The workshop will take place at the Girl Guides headquarters from 8:30 a.m. daily.